Welcome to The Explainer. G'day, we're going to talk about something a little different. We're diving into just one account on X, but it's an account that has become one hell of a voice in the Cardano crypto community. So, who or what is Mintern? Let's get into it. All right, here it is. This is the account we're talking about, known simply as Mintern. And right off the bat, you see this really distinctive avatar, right? It's even got the Cardano symbols for eyes. Pretty cool. So, what's the deal here? Is it an intern, a bot, some kind of community genius? It's got this super quirky persona for sure, but its influence? Well, that's no joke. So let's peel back the layers and figure out what really makes this thing tick. Okay, first things first, to really get what Mintern is all about, you've got to start with its bio. Seriously, it tells you almost everything you need to know about its role and its, let's call it, unique style. So check this out. The very first thing you see is the title Chief Meme Officer. Not CEO, not CTO, CMO. And you know what that tells you immediately? Its currency isn't corporate speak. It's humor, it's memes, it's relatability. And oh, it gets better. Right after that, it calls itself a shitposter extraordinaire. I mean, you gotta love the honesty, right? This shows it's super self-aware. It's leaning right into the chaos of crypto culture, mixing real info with that kind of irreverent, funny, don't take me too seriously vibe. It is not afraid to be informal. But wait, because the next part, this next little detail in the bio is probably the most important piece of the puzzle. This is the part that really clarifies its role in the whole ecosystem. It's a distinction that honestly changes everything. And here it is. The account says loud and clear it's unaffiliated with labs. Now, that is the crucial point. This means it is not an official developer. It is not a MinSwap Labs team member. This isn't some corporate broadcast, you know? And that one little phrase, that unaffiliated part, it means everything. So let's break it down. Mintern is not a formal spokesperson or an official developer. What it is a community promoter. It's a social media persona, an unofficial commentator. It reflects the vibe of the actual users, not the top-down directives from the lab. Okay, so that brings up a pretty big question, right? If it's totally unofficial, why are so many people listening? How does a chief meme officer become this powerful source of information? Well, let's take a look at its actual influence. Well, for one, it's all about reach. We're talking about nearly 15,000 followers. In the Cardano space, that's a significant audience. That's a loud megaphone. A number like that gives its voice some serious weight. So, what's this powerful voice actually saying? Is it all just memes and jokes all day? You might think so from the bio, but nope. It's actually a lot more than that. The content is actually this really interesting mix. You'll get these breaking news style updates, but then you'll also see really critical scam alerts, which is super important for the community. It also talks about some pretty heavy topics like DeFi, that's decentralized finance, and tokenomics, the whole economic model behind a token. And all of that is wrapped up with partnership announcements and, of course, that signature meme commentary. For a lot of people, it's become a genuine one-stop shop for what's going on. So, what this all boils down to is that this account has basically become the unofficial voice of the community, not just for MinSwap, but really for a big chunk of the Cardano ecosystem. It's this persona that just captures the energy, the worries, and the excitement of the actual people using this stuff. All right, so this brings us to the big critical question, the bottom line. How credible is this account? And more importantly for you, should you be relying on it for your information? So let's look at this with a balanced view. On the one hand, the good stuff is undeniable. It's got a huge voice, the info is timely, and the personality is super engaging. For a lot of people, that makes it a must follow. But, and this is a big but, you have to be cautious. Memes are fun, but they can stretch the facts. And remember, it is not an official source. That's key. So here's the best way to think about it, kind of like your user guide to Mintern. 1. Go ahead and follow it to get a feel for the pulse of the community. 2, definitely enjoy the personality-led commentary. It's great. But 3, and this is the most important part, always, and I mean always, double-check any breaking news with the official sources. Trust, but verify, When you really step back and look at it, Minter represents this whole new kind of crypto influencer. Its power doesn't come from a fancy corporate title. It comes from personality and trust built directly with the community. That's influence built from the ground up, which is incredibly powerful. But it also means that the line between community feeling and hard verified fact can get a little blurry. And so that leaves us with one last kind of big question to think about. In this decentralized world that crypto's trying to build, are these unofficial, super charismatic voices, is this the new face of communication? The answer to that question, well, it might just tell us a lot about the future of how all online communities get their information.